Welcome to
SKYPODCAST.
the SKYPODCAst. I'm trying to find a new intro because I feel like it's so annoying to hear my voice very abug in the start of the podcast. Welcome to
The SKYPODCAST. Do you think you sing well?
Of course not. I
But
think you
do you
love me
think
too
you
much
can-
now. You're even asking me that question.
I think you're at least on tune for like normal songs.
I can sing along, but I would never sing solo in
Yeah.
front of people without a radio on.
Mm,
How about you?
Ako, I feel like I can't sing for my life.
I feel like
No
when
matter
you
what I
sing,
do.
you try to make it like rock version.
I grew up rock. I love rock, alternative, dati mga Metallica, Nirvana.
But even if it's like a love song or even if it's a ballad or like a nursery rhyme, if you sing it like and you're like in the mood and you're doing solo, it becomes like rock tune.
Really?
Yeah. Like
This Romeo's bleeding.
Yes! Oh my god, you love doing that with your
She
voice.
can't hear his blood.
I think we should stop singing on this podcast.
Nothing but some feelings.
People will tune out.
It's all down, kicked
serious.
up. Wow,
stop.
1 million views.
Please stop.
This is what I like about podcasts is because we can be freer. We can talk in length. We can cover topics. We can explain more in detail.
It's just like us talking and people are just kind of eavesdropping.
Yes, and feeling ko mas walang judgment. I feel like every type of social media or every type of media we consume, may mga different personalities ang mga tao na nandun.
Yeah, but I also feel like in the age of social media, we have to be very politically correct all the time. But
Yeah,
in
that's what I hate.
podcasts,
Yeah.
they can't comment. So hindi natin alam.
Hoy, may YouTube podcast tayo, no?
Yeah.
But I feel like ganito kasi. With Twitter, you have like a 5-second read or like even less. Then you
Okay.
can comment on that. But so ang dami mga haters that don't know you and talk about as if they know everything about you.
Right. I
In
think that's really
podcasts-
the culture of Twitter though.
Yeah, but in podcasts, it's like almost an hour long. No one would take time to listen to it if they're just planning on hating.
I mean, never say never. I'm sure meron.
I'm
But
sure meron.
hindi natin malalaman. So, bahala kayo dyan.
But yeah, I feel like that's a very dangerous thing also, that mahilig tayo sa cancel culture. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
just the Philippines, but I feel like
No,
it's happening
no.
all around the world.
It's happening all around the world, definitely. And now more so than ever. Because of like social media now, everyone kind of has the platform or parang everyone's sort of equal on social media.
Yeah.
So you can comment on everyone, all of these celebrities, politicians that seemed so far away before.
Yes.
Now they're so reachable. You can just leave a comment and cross your fingers that people will join you in that comment, right? Kind of vindicate what you're thinking. I think it's also a way for some people to kind of like get noticed. Like they just
feel
want
better
attention.
about themselves. Yeah.
They just want attention
Yeah.
sometimes.
And in the States, they're starting to call this signaling.
Oh, really?
Like
What
it's
does that
like
mean?
you're signaling that you know better than most. You're like
Yeah.
it's like an intellectual flex.
Right. That makes so much sense. Especially on Twitter. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, let's say a politician says something, or even like some random girl says something on Twitter. No matter what she says, there is always something that you can comment about what she said.
You can
Like,
always twist the story.
yeah. Even if she says something as simple as, let's say, I went to the grocery to buy some bananas. If you're a hater, you can look at that phrase and you can say, oh my God, ang yabang, bumili siya ng banana, mahal-mahal, sa grocery pa.
Oo.
Right?
Ba't dyan ka pa talaga
Ba't hindi sa
bumili?
merkado?
Oo.
Or you can say, ang cheap banana. Or you can even say like, grabe, pati banana. Tinitweet niya pa. Lahat. There's so
parang
many.
ang lalim ng karga mo sa banana.
I mean, banana's always an example because it's right beside me all the time. But you know what I mean? Like, no matter what you say online, people who are carrying that negative emotion with them will always find something bad to say about you.
Yeah, and I feel like majority of it is an intellectual flex. It's more of like, look at me, I know better than you.
Right. Or look at the things that I notice. Or look at, like, I'm smarter because I'm calling you out. Because
Yeah.
I'm like more, like, I'm so politically relevant. I'm so, all of these things.
And I feel like the downside of that is that it silences a lot of people from speaking
Speaking
their
up.
mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if meron kang legitimate thing to say, you'll rather just keep to yourself. Ay, not worth the effort or not worth the headache to actually talk about it.
Yeah.
So parang, I'll just keep quiet, which is the opposite of what the internet should be.
Yeah, we should have a place for conversation to get ideas across, right? And to discuss things that not everyone should agree upon. You know what I mean? Like, you might have a different opinion from me, but it's okay to share this difference in opinion. It's okay.
Yeah. And that's the problem though. I feel like, for example, Twitter. If I were to make Twitter into a device that we can tangibly hold, it would be a megaphone. Without anything, without listening. It's all talking from one end without a proper conversation. Like, the comments are, oh, I hate this because you did this. There's nothing like, why do you say this?
Right.
Because the response is also not like, it's as if you're talking on a stage to a lot of people and the people cannot talk back.
Yeah, it's just like you shouting out your opinions.
Yeah.
And covering your ears. 'Cause
Yes,
you
and
don't wanna
everybody
hear.
in the crowd is shouting back at you.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
everybody just shouting at each other.
Yeah.
And also because it's words are tone deaf in text. When
So
you
there's
read
no
it,
emotion attached to it. You can kind of not distinguish, but like interpret it in different ways. Right?
yeah. So for example, in acting, we were taught this. Like a lot of ways to say hello or thank you or even I love you. Parang I love you so much or
Love you.
love you.
Yeah.
Diba? So, sobrang dakin ng difference but meron kasi tayong filter na nilalagay to the words we read based on our perceptions.
Yeah, we see what we want to see. We hear what we want to hear. We take things how we want to take things.
Yeah, I posted kanina I posted the construction video of a mountainside. And then ang daming, well, not a lot, but a little bit, parang, oh, I can't believe you would deforest a mountain just to build homes. Pero sa isip ko, like parang, okay, I really don't like replying to these things because I feel like it's so tiring to have to defend yourself all the time. But it's also, sinagot ko na lang because I feel like it's my part to educate.
Right.
When you look at the drone shot kasi, mukha siyang parang punong-puno ng trees. But it's all bushes lang. Maliliit na bushes.
Okay.
But from the drone shot, from an aerial view, mukha siyang trees.
Okay.
So, 95% of the construction sites in the Philippines look like that. Look at any empty lot. It looks like that.
Right.
So parang ang dami nagsasabi na, or not a lot again, may mga nagsasabi na, oh, kayo talaga mga developer, mayayaman para lang makapagtayo ng bahay. Ganyan. Like parang, wherever you are staying now, it most likely would have looked like the same.
Right. It's just like
We're
para
just
may
building
masabi
new
lang.
house.
Alam mo
Oo.
yun?
And they don't know kasi the whole story. We actually plotted out an area where sabi namin, okay, let's not touch this because merong mga trees dito and dito dumadaan yung tubig from the mountain.
Right.
And it distributes the watershed, the water to a watershed or a water reservoir sa baba.
Right. So you're being very responsible about it.
Yes, which we also said, let's not touch it.
Right.
So we're sacrificing more than half of the property by not touching it.
Right.
But ang nakikita lang ng mga tao is, oh, ang dami nilang mga sinira.
I feel like they read this pamphlet and then they just apply to all. Like they don't really try to understand different situations. They just comment on based on what they know. Or may masabi lang to make themselves feel smarter, you know? Like you can say the same thing about, oh my God, why are you using pencil? That's made of wood. Wood is, you're cutting our trees. Why are you using paper? Why are you using, you can just really find anything to hate about. I feel like there's just so much hate around the world, especially online these days. And because of that, like Twitter is not always all hate, but a lot of the times it is, especially when it's in times of turmoil or like there's a big news that's happening, right? And I feel like it's kind of also not messing with our brains, but kind of hitting us emotionally. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're surrounded by all of these negative things all the time,
Yeah.
then that kind of fills your brain with negativity. And now every single time you see a comment or you see something, the first thing you're going to do is hit it with a negative comment or find the negative in it. Like, for example, like I have this friend and I remember telling her like, hala, oh my God, I'm so happy our common friend, si ganito ganyan. Finally, may jowa na siya. She has a boyfriend. I'm so happy for them. And instead of saying like, I'm so happy for them also. That's so cool. Where did they meet? Ganyan, ganyan. The way she responded to me was, huh? She found a boyfriend? Ang pangit-pangit ng ugali niyan. May nahanap pa siya. Like, you know what I mean? It's so negative. Like, for a news that's so happy or even neutral, negative ang nakikita niya.
Oh, okay. Meron akong breakdown of what is happening.
Okay.
I feel.
Go.
Is that, di ba sa acting, we're taught to, like, cry on demand.
Okay.
And how to do that is you cry all the time. Para siyang muscle na you develop. So, if you practice hate all the time, yung hate mo, nasa, ano na siya, surface level na siya. And I feel like Twitter, especially Twitter, di ba algorithm siya na ipupush niya yung very popular topics.
Mm-hmm.
So, the more emotionally intense a topic is, the more you are most likely to retweet it. And when are you most likely to act upon something is when you hate or there is an issue that really
strikes
bugs
a chord with you.
Oh, so nire-retweet mo or you comment upon this. And the more people that ride that bus or ride that hate train, mas dumadami siya.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just when there's no room for discussion, it's a one-way talk, like a cancel culture type of thing. That's when it is detrimental. But there are actually comments also that can be helpful as well.
I mean, it's okay to speak up. And it's, in fact, actually good to, for example, if the government is not doing a good job, it's good that people are actually finally starting to like say things straight, you know what I mean? And not hide anymore. But I think you're right. When there's no room for discussion, when you're not even opening yourself up to hear about what the other side has to say, and then when you instantly cancel someone, like, what she did was stupid, cancelled. I find that the worst. Like, how can you just cancel an entire person for some mistake that she or he might have done?
Like there's no constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Like meron naman talagang magko-comment sa akin na, Slater, I feel like your audio is bad. It could be better pa.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
That's fine. But meron ding, ang ingay-ingay. May mga ganyan. So it's like totally,
Yeah, I don't know. I think what you said about muscle memory is really accurate. Because like, if you're so used to speaking in that way, very crass, very walang lambing, like everything's just negative, parang nasasanay talaga yung bibig mo.
There was a time during this pandemic when it was starting, where I was always on Twitter, always reading the news. And napansin ko that I was always ranting to you about the current situation.
Yeah, and I'd always tell you, please don't tell me you're stressing me out.
Yeah. So that's when I also realized na I am more stressed than usual.
Yeah.
Because I'm consuming a lot of things that I cannot do anything about. Yeah. And all I can do is rant about it.
Right. But you know what? That was really a stressful time for a lot of people, because I remember my friends also feeling so stressed and burnt out at that point, because yun nga, feeling so helpless about the whole situation, the pandemic, the government, everything. Parang I remember everyone was just like, okay, I need a break from the news. I'm gonna switch off social media for a while.
A proper way of saying to someone na, don't be so insensitive would be like, hey, I think this tweet is inappropriate because of what is happening in Manila.
Yeah.
That opens up for someone to actually be informed. Like, parang kaysa sa, ito yung tweet mo?
Yeah.
But even then, because you are hearing me right now with a proper tone of voice, you can understand that may konting lambing yung boses ko.
Yeah, like, okay, this
hey,
person
sorry,
actually cares
pero,
for me.
Pero it could be also, hey, sorry pero it's the same
it's interpreted
words,
in different ways.
But interpreted in different ways. And it's always usually interpreted negatively.
And I feel like because we are so distant from the people that we're conversing with, it's not a face-to-face interaction. You're not on the phone. It's just text that you type on a screen and they will never ever meet you in your whole life.
Yeah.
You're more liberal with the things that you put out there. You put less thought into it. You know what I mean? Like you would never say that to a friend. A lot of the things we say online, like
Walang
when we
human
comment,
face to it.
if that were a friend we're talking to, diba, we're never gonna say that.
Or not even just a friend. If it were a real person in front of you,
Yeah.
you will never ever say that.
Right. I feel like the whole culture of just leaving a comment and then exiting that comment space and then just living your own life, parang it detaches you from the repercussions of that comment.
Ang
Like
dami
you don't
natin-
know,
yeah.
you don't know if, like, for example, let's say I'm 7 years old. I just learned about YouTube and I go onto Slater's YouTube channel for some weird reason, lumabas sa feed ko. And then I see that Slater is like building a house or whatever, like fixing his sink. And then I comment like, "You are so ugly."
Yeah.
Let's just say. And then I'm like, "La la la, ha ha ha," whatever. And then I leave.
Yeah.
So Slater doesn't know that the person on the screen is just playing, doesn't know anything.
Or 7 years old.
7 years old. So Slater reads it, and then, okay, let's say he's so vain, right? And then he comes to me, "Oh my God, somebody said I'm so ugly." Like, that 7-year-old kid will never know, nor will he ever care.
It's funny how, though, being in the position of where we are, parang ang daming mga positive comments. Like, 99% of the comments are actually positive.
Yeah, and then there's that
There's a one comment na sobrang
in
inis na inis ka.
thousands.
Parang, "Ugh, you don't understand."
Yeah, my gosh. Especially when it comes to like, well, now I'm more detached.
Yeah.
So-
I feel like I should stop reading comments. But sayang din kasi na parang we have a good relationship with the people that follow us.
No, the Skyham is so amazing.
Yeah,
Like, they
so
would
parang
never say
ganda.
anything bad. But, like, I forgot my point.
No, actually,
Mom
I
brain.
appreciate a positive feedback when it's constructive. I am the type of person to actively seek out constructive
Things to improve,
criticism.
right.
Yeah. Gusto ko talaga na sabihan ako na may problema.
Yeah.
Pero ang ayaw ko is that may video ako, vlog. So it's a little bit shaky. And sabi niya, Slater, nahihilo ako sa vlog mo. You should shoot in 60 FPS. And if that guy knew what he was talking about, 60 FPS is slow motion. So parang, really?
Yeah. Mema lang. They just want to feel smart or they want to feel good about themselves.
Signaling nga.
Yeah.
And I feel like eventually we'll get over it. I really feel like ngayon, since
What do you mean we'll get over it? Like the whole culture, the whole group of
parang,
people watching?
di
will
ba
get over it?
nag-evolve naman talaga tayo? Like parang dati, like Twitter was the thing, then Instagram feed goals na kailangan papakita mo lahat ng mga best poses.
Matching feed.
colors, yeah. And now it evolved into something more real.
Right.
So I feel like it's just because the internet, in the grand scheme of things, it's in its infancy.
Right. Very immature pa yung space.
Yes, so I feel like everybody will just get used to all this hate and we can start to separate the signal from the noise.
Right.
And then, meron ng mga consequences for always hating. Like for example, if I were an employer and I did my proper research on who I'm about to employ and I see your feed and it's all hate,
Right.
that might eventually lead to consequences. You understand the hate which is justified from time to time. And there's a lot of hate to be justified.
Right.
But you have to be able to step back a little bit and say, I'll choose my battles.
Right.
And parang dapat balance lang din, like with anything else in life. Like parang, if you start to read back on your comments and it's 80%, 90%, all criticisms and hateful comments, you might have to look at how you are thinking because
Exactly.
it might be that you are...
It's a reflection of yourself more than everything else around you.
Yes. Like ako, I see a lot of things that should be hateful for. And what I do is I don't comment. I just tell Chris, I don't think she should have done this like this. But it's parang
And
hindi ko
then
na...
sometimes I say na no love because she's like this. Okay. Ganon. Tapos, like, it's not like, grabe naman to. Tingnan mo. La, la, la. Like, if your tone is just, you're hungry for that negativity, ikaw na yung may problema. And that doesn't just apply to online. I feel like even if you're in a relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, some relationships are super like always sila nag-aaway.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you notice all of these little things, you nitpick everything.
You don't let go of some things.
Yeah.
Alam mo, may mga magandang book about it.
What?
Don't sweat the small stuff. And it's all small stuff.
Right.
So,
I feel like it really becomes
in the grand scheme of things, yeah.
It really becomes something that you get used to. You really get used to
It's a habit. It's a habit that you develop over time.
If you're always fighting, if the way you approach a situation, let's say Slater did something bad to me, like he left the toilet seat up.
Dito na naman tayo sa toilet
We don't
seat.
fight, so I don't have any other examples. But like, for example, he left the toilet seat up. I could say like, grabe ka naman, every night na lang nahuhulog na ako, lalalala, ikaw talaga, bo. You know what I mean? And if I do that for every little thing, wala. It's something you get used to.
And it also parang escalates na. Kasi you've got mad at that. And then what about the toothbrush? Or what about the toothpaste?
The toothpaste.
Diba?
And the toothbrush.
Now I'm gonna hate on you on that. Yeah. And sometimes nga na parang this is my pet peeve when I'm being told na check your privilege po.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You know what? I always notice now, like the YouTubers that I follow, especially the ones from abroad.
My disclaimer.
There's always a disclaimer like, hey guys, of course I acknowledge that I'm in a privileged position. Like, why do you always have to be so politically correct all the time? Like, can't you just get to your point without having to acknowledge your privilege all the time?
Yeah, I understand
I
that.
have to be sorry about my privilege.
Yeah, I understand that we are in a position of privilege. And kind of, this is a disclaimer also.
But your privilege is relative.
Yeah, but also, you worked hard for what you have. My father, your father, I work for what I have. You work for what you have. Parang, I don't like the mindset of having to apologize for what you have.
Right.
Because you worked hard for it.
Yeah, like a lot of people say, like
why can't I just say, I deserve what I have, but I also have empathy for the other person that are not as lucky as I am, but I don't have to keep on saying it and explaining that.
Yeah, exactly.
Diba?
Exactly. Like, I'm allowed to have two different emotions. I'm allowed to, like, my emotions are allowed to be deeper than face value.
Yeah.
So, even if I'm very thankful for what I have, I can still, at the same time, feel for those that have less.
Yeah.
And we were saying that privilege is very relative. Like, you were talking to me about this earlier. Like, how you can look at me and say like, oh my God, she's so privileged. She's living in the SkyPod. She has a podcast, whatever.
Yeah, but it's
I could
an infinite spiral.
Yeah, somebody could also say, oh my God, she's so privileged. She's listening to the SkyPod. She has internet.
Oh,
right?
Or you can even just say, oh my God, ikaw privileged ka kasi kumpleto yung limbs mo.
Yeah.
Or you're healthy.
Right. That's really dependent on how your brain is wired. Yeah. If your brain is wired to find and nitpick on the negative stuff, you'll always find something to hate about. And parang fallback mo yun when things don't go your way.
Yeah.
So it's always, I'm like this because of the situation that I was born in. Parang you're always blaming something instead of doing something about it yourself.
It's a cop-out, I feel.
Right.
Like, whenever you hate on someone more I always say this, but whenever you hate on someone more successful than you are most likely not gonna become that person because you don't become someone you hate. Ang lalim natin naabutan.
Yeah, what was our topic to begin with? I don't
we
remember.
were just talking
we were
about...
just singing about rock and roll, guys. Ay, nako. You know, it's funny because a lot of people ask us, like, grabe your podcast, no? Don't you guys ever run out of things to talk about? And then Sitter and I are like, we talk about a lot of stuff. We're so madaldal. We're like hugging the mic all the time. Podcast is a nice space to just talk and be free and not have to worry about being super duper politically correct. Plus, the Sky Fam is amazing. So.
I think it's also because we feel secure with the way we... No, I feel secure. It's not about the community, but I feel like I want to talk about topics that might trigger some people, because I feel like I'm secure in my beliefs. I know that I'm not a racist. I'm not a sexist. I know who I am, and I am happy with who I am. So I am being, I try to be as confident as possible when I talk about these things.
Hindi ka natakot ma-judge kasi alam mo namang there's nothing to judge.
Yes. Like for the people that judge me, yeah, it hurts sometimes. Sometimes umiyak ako sa gabi.
Kaya pala when I wake up at 3 a.m., may mga tear stains yung pillow.
Ay, napansin mo. It's getting less and less. Dati talaga I'll like, what? You said this about me? Parang when I first started in showbiz, oh my gosh.
Yeah, my gosh. I have so many other like YouTuber
And actually
friends.
it helped you overcome most of the haters.
I have a lot of like YouTuber friends that aren't from here, and then they keep saying na like we get tons and tons of affirmative comments, like words of affirmation all the time. But then when that one person comments something negative, it still hurts you sometimes. And you can't, a lot of the times people just say, ignore, dead ma. But you can't help, sometimes it really hurts.
Yeah,
and that's normal. It's normal.
More than anything, it makes me sad sometimes that parang nawawala yung faith in humanity for me, na parang konting empathy,
right?
A little bit of love goes a long way.
It's all about the love, guys. It's all about the love.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
But
Nag-alarm
we
na
understand yung support ng Sky Fam natin, and yeah, that's something I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, I love our community. Grabe. Like, the moment when I do my live chats on YouTube, the moment they see Scott's face, it really goes crazy. Like,
who could hate on Scotty? No one could hate on Scotty.
Dude, there are some twisted people in the world. There are so many celebs kaya with their babies being hated on. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the Sky Fam would never do that. So,
yeah. Ang problema is there's a lot more people listening to what we have to say than just the Sky Fam.
What do you mean?
Marami naman nakikinig sa mga
wala silang choice. Walang comment section. Bye guys, peace out.
No, I was telling you this. Like, sorry, extend muna kang konti. I was telling you this na, you know how when sa YouTube meron kang mga successful videos and a not successful video? The more successful a video gets, the more haters you get.
Syempre, because more people also discover your channel. And
yeah, and it's like random people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, extend na naman. Like, I had this video of a pregnancy transformation on my channel.
Yeah, sobrang daming views.
Yeah, so when it started, like, okay, 100K views, okay, 200K views, okay. And then I just forgot about it because, I do other videos.
Yeah.
And the next thing I checked, 20 million views
Whoa,
na.
Yeah,
dude, it's so crazy. 20 million views. And then like the comments at first, when it was just my community, like the Sky Fam, were like, oh my God, Chris, grab at this journey. Oh my gosh. Wow, your belly changed so much. Like, pregnancy. And then like over time, more randos, like I call them randos, the random people. More randos came into that video and said like, what the fuck is this girl doing? Like showing her belly, whatever. Like some comments not even related about pregnancy, like super like fuck, she had sex because she's pregnant. Like what? Like crazy na talaga. So I mean randos, right?
Yeah.
So wala.
Mga keyboard warriors.
Wala. Crazy people. Dead mo na lang.
At least they gave you one more view. One view in the 20 million. Wow, crazy. That's your craziest video.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I didn't expect it.
But you know what I appreciate though about you is you are able to just film and not look at the comments and just forget about it. Ako as the type of like the type of person to analyze kasi like how it's doing well, what people appreciate, what people don't.
When I started.
Yeah.
But it's been 10 years, more than 10 years. So now I just do it because I love doing it. And that's why I do live chats, because that's when my audience can really talk to me. And I know if you're there, you really want to converse with me.
But I also think that that's why people support you more, even when, let's say, for example, you have a misstep or you say something that's out of place or something like that. Your fans are most likely to support you because they understand a lot of things that go around you. It's like knowing someone who's mayabang, but he's mayabang, but we love him anyways.
Are you saying I'm mayabang?
No, it's not. Konti, but not in this particular case.
Well, we love the Sky Fam. You guys know that. And if you're listening to this podcast, then you are already part of the Sky Fam. So welcome.
Yeah, if
We're
you
so
reach
happy
this point,
to have you here. And with that being said, we would like to wish you a very good night. I hope our
wait,
voices...
one more. Joke. Bye,
Ayaw niya
guys.
matulog kayo. Okay, good night, guys. I hope our voices were really good tonight. Soothing. Go to sleep.
Soothing, pero don't go to sleep. It's all about like hater and something bigat ng topic
Oh,
natin
sige,
today.
watch cartoons first. Good night, guys.
Good night.